Hello, writers. Today we're going to continue with our revisions on our unusual animal story narrative. Remember, we're working on a narrative, a story, one that is telling a story about your unusual animal. And it's adding some of the real things that we've learned from that animal from our research. So we're going to get started. I'm going to show you another revision strategy today that I'm going to have you try as writers. So you're in your writing assignment today. I also have in there the teacher sample and this mini lesson document that I'm showing so that it can remind you how to think with it, but you can always rewind this video and check again. So today I want to model for you a strategy of show, don't tell with your emotions. As I was reading your story, a lot of you said that your unusual creature was afraid, or they felt happy, or they were scared. So if you said, "Oh, he was scared," then you're telling. I'm going to have you show so that your reader has a really good picture in their mind and they can play that movie in their mind and see what's happening. So let me model for you what I am thinking, and then I'm going to go and show you how to do it in your own writing. So in here, this side is going to be closer to telling. And I'm going to think, I'm going to say, he was scared. I'm going to think, okay, I just told the reader he's scared. That's not very good. That would be something that we would write, a couple years ago, but we're going to improve even more today. So now I'm thinking about, okay, how can I show my reader? What does scared look like? What does it feel like? Well, I'm thinking about when I was scared, my heart started pumping. I shook. I got this wide-eyed look on my face. So I'm going to think he was shaky. Oops, not sharking. That reminds me of death row. Shaky. That's a little bit better. Shaking with fear. Well, that's a little bit better. That gives me a little bit better picture. But I'm going to go even further and I'm going to describe this. Now, I said my heart was pumping. I was shaking. My eyes were wide as I stared at whatever I was afraid of. So I'm going to use those three details. I'm going to probably need a little bit more space. So I'm going to just stretch this out. So his heart started to pump blood faster as he could feel it beating in his chest. I'm going to really run out of room again. I'm going to just shrink my writing a little bit here. Let's go down to this. In his chest, his body shivered and shook. Now I'm getting a better picture. His heart started to pump faster as he could feel it beating in his chest. His body shivered and shook. Blood rushed to his face. How many of you ever had that sinking feeling in your stomach too when you were afraid? Like you got this pit in your stomach. His stomach had a pit in the center, feeling as if he wanted to throw up. That's how I feel. Ugh. And then the last thing I thought about my eyes get really wide as I stare at whatever scares me. So I'm going to have my character's eyes. His eyes got wide as the black parts. Ooh, staring at her. So, boys and girls, on this side, I was telling more about my character. Here was a little bit better. I got some things. I started to get a movie in my head, but here, listen as you really get a movie in your head. His heart started to pump blood faster as he could feel it beating his chest. His body shivered and shook. Blood rushed to his face. His stomach had a pit in the center, feeling as if he wanted to throw up. His eyes got wide. Oops. His eyes got wide as the black parts started to growing, staring at his predator. So I'm going to go over to my story and I'm going to find a place in my story where I told an emotion, or maybe I could add an emotion somewhere in my story, maybe for happy, sad, and give this strategy a try. So here I am in my story. And on slide 5, I had written that my character was afraid. So a wild boar is just on the other side of the fence with my pink fairy armadillo, whom I called Pinky, and she's there with her pup, and she climbed the fence, and the wild boar is got closer and closer to the fence, and Pinky is afraid. Now, I told a feeling there. This is where you're starting today. You're going to find that feeling in your story, and you're going to give it a try and switch it out. Instead of saying Pinky is afraid, I'm going to replace that, or I'm going to just add my detail from being afraid. So I'm going to add my detail here. I typed it ahead of time and put it there so you didn't have to watch me type again. So I added all of that detail, but I'm going to kind of take out this part right here because I don't need that anymore. I don't have to tell he's afraid. I used his heart started to pump the blood faster as he could feel it beat in his chest. His body shivered and shook. Blood rushed to his face, and I continued on. Now, please help your teacher find this in your story a little bit. I'm going to highlight that, and I am going to switch it to blue to prove that I had tried this strategy somewhere in my story today. You pick your spot. You pick your emotion and add a couple sentences so you show, don't tell. This will be in your classroom so that you can go back and take a look. And then remember to go give it a try in your story. I did it on Cyflure. Off you go, writers. Enjoy showing, not telling today.